Hello, my name is Jack Fairley, and I'll be presenting my persuasive speech to my brother Smith and to Kate Herrmeister, my two audience members. Okay. Hello, my name is James Fairley, and I'll be presenting you my persuasive speech about how the CGM is the best way to manage type 1 diabetes. So, people all around the world use many different brands to control their type 1 diabetes and different ways to control it. The different ways are the CGM, which I use, blood sugar monitors, which prick yourself, and those are the main two ways. While there are a lot of amazing brands that work in different ways, there's one that is dominating the field right now and that are more cost efficient and have the best technological advancements. Medtronic has been around for over about 70 years and leading the industry in medical technology for type 1 diabetes and juvenile diabetes. Medtronic does not just deal with diabetes though. They have created the newest technology for heart pacemakers, heart sustainability, environmental friendliness, and other important medical field items. Other companies have not been recommended as much as Medtronic has been. I can attest to this because I'm a Medtronic user and I have used many different brands in the field of type 1 diabetes and insulin and that whole entire field. Medtronic has been outright the best thing that I've used for the past 16 years and has given me the best overall statistics and quality of life. In this speech, I will talk about how Medtronic produces and keeps beating the latest competition on the market. I will also be sharing what my own doctor says about Medtronic, the pump, the CGM, all of it. And then I will finish up with some statistics to show you on how Medtronic is number one. Let's get into how Medtronic is outproducing the competition. People with type 1 cannot live and survive without a way of knowing their blood sugar and being able to put an insulin into their bloodstream. According to D-Life Medtronic, the top two pumps in the market out of 5 are the MiniMed 530G from Medtronic and the MiniMed 670 630G, which is actually the pump that I use right here. I have used both of these and have never had any problems. I switch pumps every 2 years and the next one just comes with even better technology each time. The other competitors below them like Omnipod, T:slim, they're great companies, but they don't produce as good results. T:slim is a newer company that is based on all touchscreen items, and it has really jumped in the market these past couple years, but then again hasn't been out long enough to show stable sustainability for kids with type 1. The Omnipod, on the other hand, is really just broke through technologically wise because they just have one patch which produces insulin and checks your blood sugar at the same time. But there's a problem to that. Since it's so big, it can come off easily, and for people who do like sports like me, I can't wear those all the time because I'll have to change it almost every other day when this lasts for 10 days, and that's Medtronic makes the only CGM on the market that lasts for that long and keeps consistent blood sugars. Medtronic's products are the best, and I can have my doctor tell you why. My pediatric endocrinologist, Dr. Mark Vanderwell, has been my doctor since I was diagnosed at the age of 2. He has been finding out the best technology for his patients to make their lives better. The cool thing about my doctor is that he actually lived right next door to me. So when I was a kid and my parents didn't really know what was going on, we could go knock on the door and it'd be okay, and he would come out and come to my house and help me with whatever I needed. I started out with the company Animas, which is not even ranked anymore on the website that I looked at for top insulin pumps because their products were so bad. I was switching Animas pumps every 6 to 8 months, which is something you don't want to do. And they were just really unreliable, breaking down all the time. As soon as he put me on Medtronic, he could tell the difference, I could tell the difference, and my family could tell the difference, all in as little as 3 months. My blood sugars were more stable, the information was more accurate, I had better moods, I was just a happier kid in general. Another thing about Medtronic is that it is easier to learn how to use. My parents had to put insulin pumps, my Animas insulin pumps on me because I could never get the hang of it because it was so complicated. I started to use the Medtronic pumps at the age of 7, and I learned in under 6 months because it was just so much easier and less complicated. I met an ambassador at T-Slim at a diabetes camp, and he tried to show me how it worked, but it was so confusing setting up the touchscreen and having to go through the process of connecting it to a sensor when it's just so much easier through Medtronic. Lastly, I will get into the stats of Medtronic price-wise and market dominance-wise. Medtronic prices are not ranked number one because there are many companies, or are not ranked number one because there are many companies that make products more affordable, but they don't help the kids out health-wise. So the cool thing about Medtronic is it may be a little more pricey, but it's gonna make you live longer in the long run instead of having a ton of problems come up at the ages between 40 and 60 to where it can be detrimental to your health. According to Zacks, Medtronic stock is the number one among all competition, with one share being held at $115 USD. Medtronic's actual quality of product is ranked number one and in the top 46% against all of the competition. I can attest to this myself because, like I explained earlier, Animas, I was going through it like crazy, and Medtronic, I've had to get it whenever my time to renew is up, and it's always better than the last one, and it always makes my blood sugars better each year, and it keeps my A1C from getting higher and higher, and it actually makes it lower and lower. And the A1C is like what the doctor tests you when you go into the doctor, and it's like your average. So if you have a high average, that's really bad, and it's better to be like as low as you can. Like the normal person without diabetes is like a 6 to a 7, and without Medtronic I was at a 12, and with Medtronic now I'm down to an 8.1 and going lower. The one thing about Medtronic is that it has been clinically proven to manage the disease best. The recent closed loop system they came out with dominated a whole new era of technology, the CGM. They created a pump to do a matchup with the CGM, and they had the best connection to accuracy rates over anybody else in the field. And what I mean by this is the CGM is the thing I have on my arm. They have created one that actually links to the pump through Bluetooth. And what happens is you calibrate it once by checking yourself. It gives you a super accurate number, and it can go right to the pump, telling your pump to suspend or telling your pump to like put in more insulin or whatever. And so with this, they call it a closed loop because it's the closest thing they can get to being self-sufficient and not having to manually put in your insulin. Overall, this speech was meant to show you, the audience, coming from a Medtronic user and from credible sources and my doctor, that Medtronic is the number one brand for helping all people manage type 1 diabetes. All the way from their numbers to their accuracy to their improvement and to the quality of life with their patients. I think it's an easy choice if you had to choose. Go Medtronic.